some 25 years ago, I had the great fortune to meet with Brendan Dunne. Brendan Dunne was a retired stonemason, and he's talking about here about his time on Lambay, working on Lambay, and that would have been in the time, that's the 30s, when Cecil Baring was still in residence there. He came across tombstones and he wondered where they came from.
Well, I don't know where they came from, other to come from the wreck on Lambay that went down in the last century. What year was it?
1854.
1854. She was a sailing ship.
And what would a sailing ship be doing with a tombstone?
Oh, they had a load of these tombstones. They had a good few. It had a mixed cargo, but they had a few of these. And they were bringing them over, I think, to this country. I didn't know the destination. The historians will be able to tell you that. I'm not a historian.
It was an emigrant ship going to Australia.
Oh, it was going to Australia?
Right. This would have been a gravestone in Sydney or someplace.
Oh, if it had to get to its journey. Right. And they went off, it was a terrible breezy anyway, they were sailing club, and they went ashore with the gale of wind, you see, on the east coast, under the cliffs on Lambay Island. Now, that's come up out of it, and that's history. Now, I was over in Lambay Island in 1930. I was over, we were restoring the castle, and then when we got that job done, we were building what they call the guest house. You can see it from here with the white buildings, and they were digging the foundations for this guest house because they hadn't enough room in the castle when the visitors had all come over in the summer in these years. This was his father, the present Lord Revelstoke's father I was working for. 1930, I was only a young lad, about 19 or 20 or somewhere. I wasn't 20, I was 18 or 19. And we were... They cut out these big foundations because it's that much soil and there's a lot of rock, and there was a big wide foundation, and didn't they come across a mass grave one side of the foundation, just at the side of the building. They just escaped it. And I remember being down in the foundation before it was filled in, with 2 or 3 of us was standing. We were looking at this skeleton here. There was dozens of skulls and skeletons and everything, about 6 foot long. And we were discussing, 3 of us, whether it was a man or a woman, you know. And this fellow's carpenter, Lord have mercy on him, he was a relation of mine too, and a pal, Jim Gavin. They had to get the authorities down, the police and everything else, but they verified anyway by the length they were there that it was out of a mass grave out of the Tayleur, or some of them that weren't taken away at those times. There was transport and money, everything was scarce then, and they were just buried over there, or some of them were. So that was a bit of history too. Well, they're over there now. Well, right along the side wall of the guest house up over there, buried there, lying there, nice and peaceful.
Did you feel a kind of a sense of history coming across these remains, to think that you were looking at the people that...
Oh, yes. Yes. You say... That's only, I don't know, I'm not an academic man, but I'm a man that looks into things, you know.
But you were looking at the skeletons and maybe feeling that all these people suffered drowning.
Oh, yes.
On a sailing ship.
Definitely, in the sailing ship, you know.
Yeah.
And it was marvellous. But that's only this little bit of history. And
what was it like to work for that Lord Ravenstoke?
Or this man's father, this present Lord Revelstoke is the same age as me. He's born the same day, the same month, the same year. So I'm in good company. But he regards financially, I'm probably in good company. I don't know about his morals and my morals. We might have different. We mightn't be too close together at all.
What would they like to work for?
Oh, he was a gentleman, his father, and a gentleman. And at that time, he was more or less, well, he used to come back and forward every week. He never missed a week. And his wife was buried over there. He's buried over there now. And he had a photograph of the grave and all. You weren't allowed to go in to take a photograph of it. But I got in, I took the photograph. And I had the damn thing for years and could read it off the photograph. But the photographs that got married now and the granted, I can't get it anywhere. And I know he put the first on it himself, the old Lord Revelstoke. And he had, I can remember some of it. He to us was on it, or she to us, who was lovely and best. Child cradled in the earth lies here at rest, and the little lowly birds on her grave had no power or weep for the the little lowly birds on her grave weeps for the soul they had no power to save. And that was description, his own subscription. He was a good man in every way. And when he'd come over every weekend, he'd have all these all the people, cooks and dips and all that. In the summertime, it used to be great altogether. And he'd give us a whisk dry of every, and he'd have a prize nearly for everyone. And there'd be a whisk prize and a due for that weekend. There'd be a whisk dry first on a Saturday night, and there'd be a due then, a dance. They had a hall there and all, there's billiards and all in. And they'd come down and be at the dance and all for a couple of hours, and then we'd carry on to all hours in the morning then for the rest of the marvellous time we had. The happiest time in my life when I was working over there, and it was just my first job after finishing my apprenticeship. And at that time in 1930, we were earning over there an average around about £7 a week. And in 1930, and our bill for the week for the grub was around about the average. The highest was around about 12 shillings or something, and down to 7 shillings, around about 8 or 9 shillings a week. And we had all the rest of the other money for ourselves. It just shows you the cost of living then. Admittedly, we hadn't to pay, but that was only the grub, and we had the best of grub. We hadn't to pay for the lodgings. Now, we hadn't to pay for the cook, because he employed a cook to look after us.